Let's introduce our guest. Robert Kiberenge is the election board chair at Bunge la Wananchi. He is a leader among the Bunge la Wananchi that meets at Kiberenge and also I think at the national level as well. Yes. Kiberenge, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Last time we met, we came to your Bunge and we brought the mic to the ground.
Yeah, mic.
Now you've come. Shika mic sasa leo tuongee hapa kwa studio.
Thank you. I'm happy I'm here. And I want to thank the nation and the media in general for giving the ordinary people a chance. You know, in the previous years, it was about who are you in the society. I'm a mtoto wa nani, but nowadays, we have this platform. We are very grateful. Secondly, I want to thank the media and the nation for standing up to check the government because we lost the opposition and now we have the media.
Kabisa, we're here
amplifying the voice of the people.
We're here so that together, collectively as a nation, as the citizens of Kenya, we can fix the nation. We can identify what the gaps are, fix. We can see what is working and build on it. Now, Jano is going to give you our day's quote. Every day she has a new quote. And then we see how that relates with the day and with the conversation that we will be having. What's today's?
Today's quote is in the spirit of Eid, and it says, Eid is a time to come together, to forgive, to celebrate our shared humanity and the blessings that we have. That was said by King Abdullah, the second of Jordan, during Eid al-Fitr address in Amman, Jordan, 2017. So it's about coming together, forgiveness, celebrating our shared humanity and the blessings that we have.
Yeah, it's a good quote. It's a good quote. And it is very relevant to our situation in Kenya right now. But also coming together for what purpose? You know, you must come together for a purpose. And in our situation, for what purpose are we coming together? To fix governance, to fix the country, to correct the economic situation we are in. Or why are we coming together? We must come together for a purpose. You know, we are in the 21st century, and the problem we have is that we are using the software, the MOIS software, to govern Kenya in the 21st century. We need to fix the software.
Was it you who said we're fixing public issues with private solutions?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
It was me who
so that's
said.
what you're.
Yes.
That's the same thing that you're speaking to now. We can't use the previous software.
We can't use the. You know, MOIS software. We have to fix the software. We have a very vibrant new constitution, a very excellent constitution, but the only problem is that we cannot implement this constitution because we are using a very old, outdated software. So we need to change the software.
Give me an example of the old part of that software.
The old part of that software, for example, let me give you a very classical example. When you fire a CS because of incompetence, then you replace him with somebody from his village. Is that geared towards service delivery or managing politics? That is managing politics, and that is the old software. More used in the 1980s. So we need to fix our software so that when you fire an incompetent CS, you replace him with a competent one. And it doesn't matter the competent one where he comes from. He doesn't have to come from the same village of the one you have fired. That is a very old software. So I still insist we have to fix our software. We cannot continue using old software in these days. Then we expect to have changes. And as Janet have said, I've always insisted that we cannot address public problems with the private solutions. And I always give examples. For example, when a road is muddy and you go and buy gumboots, that is a private solution to a public problem. We have to agitate for that road to be fixed for all of us. Yes.
I was thinking out loud, not out loud, just, as you were talking, when we say what Wananchi wants, the Wananchi is the same one saying this cost of living, the disappearances, the governance is all terrible, we need change. But whenever President William Ruto holds a rally, or any other leader, to be quite honest, of Kenya Kwanza or ODM, any of them hold a rally somewhere, a meeting somewhere, the same Wananchi attends. And they're there listening, chanting, sometimes clapping, sometimes booing, whichever it is. So what does this Wananchi want? Seems very conflicted.
Yeah, that one, that you have used a very good example. Why would the people turn up for a rally on a working day on a Monday and they feel a rally? That is a problem. It's a clear problem. When people are mobilized to attend a rally, given 500 or 200, it shows, it demonstrates the separate situation we are in. On a working day, people feel a rally. That one is a disaster. It seems it implies that we are sitting on a time bomb. So that is a clear indication that the unemployment is very high. People have no jobs. People are idle. They can attend a rally. They can, they can be paid to attend a rally. Those people do not attend that rally or do not come to cheer that politician because they like him, or they have nothing to do. It's simply because we have a problem that people are unemployed, people have lost jobs, people have lost businesses. So we need to fix that situation. We must not have a situation where on a working day, people can turn up in their thousands to attend a rally. That is a problem.
I'm thinking even at the best economic times, which was probably Mwai Kibaki's, first 5 years, people still showed up for rallies, though, even when the economy was on the up and up.
No, during Kibaki's time, I was in this country when Kibaki was president. And Kibaki is one person who never, he worked in silence. He never went around in rallies. You hardly saw him standing on top of his car to launch a project or to do what. He worked in silence, and things there were less rallies during Kibaki's time. And Kibaki really discouraged people politicking.
Yeah.
People attending rallies. He never liked that.
Kiberenge, that Bunge and Wananchi was among the places where people used to really, really talk against that style of leadership by Kibaki. They'll be like, sasa tuko na rais.
Silence.
Hii Kenya hii tuko na rais kweli. Ako wapi? Umemwona wewe?
So it goes to Mariam's point. There's a silent president.
Doomed if you do, doomed if you don't.
So what is?
Initially, people at Bunge la Mwananchi, we used to say Kibaki is too preserved. He's a hands-off president. He's not present. We can't see him. But when people started seeing results, people started realizing this man is silent, but he's working. We can see things moving. He was a hands-off president who gave ministers or people in various departments their freedom to execute their mandate without interference from State House or wherever. But at the end of his presidency, we saw the results. We saw infrastructure. We saw that the economy had improved. He placed Kenya on the right trajectory for economic development. And in 2013, we killed that spirit that Kibaki had left by electing Uhuru and Ruto. So whatever Kibaki had established, that foundation, we lost it. We lost it.
I think then it comes back to Mariam's question. So what does Wananchi want? Because Wananchi is one who elected Uhuru and Ruto for 2 terms.
Yes.
Wananchi is one who even was happy and expressing satisfaction with the handshake in 2018. Wananchi is the same one who is turning up into all these rallies by President Ruto today. And even those ones who are saying now, even in Nyanza, tumeanza kuona matunda ya handshake. Wakazi wa Nyanza wasema wameanza kuona manufaa ya ushirikiano wa Ruto na Raila. Wananchi wao, what does Wananchi want?
Because the same Wananchi.
Yes, the same Wananchi.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, well, those who elected Uhuru in 2013 exercised their democratic right. Those who elected Ruto exercised their democratic right as provided for by our constitution. What Wananchi wants is delivery of services, nothing else. Wananchi wants to access healthcare. Wananchi wants Wananchi wants the implementation of Article 43 of our Constitution, the bare minimums. The bare minimums is what Wananchi wants. To access healthcare, quality healthcare, not just healthcare. To access education, shelter, food security, and good environment, a hygienic environment. Those are the things that Wananchi wants. Bare minimums. We cannot be living in a country where one person can afford 5 choppers. There are 5 choppers at his disposal to use at any time. And another person cannot afford 50 shillings to commute from Kibera to industrial area to do some casual job. Only 50 shillings. You see that gap? Bare minimums. We are talking about bare minimums. We cannot be in a situation where one person can afford 10,000 lunch at Kempiski and another Kenyan cannot afford just a basic meal in a day. Ugali na sukuma peke yake. Another Kenyan cannot afford. We are talking about bare minimums. That's what Wananchi wants. Even if you can afford 5 choppers, let the person at the bottom of the pyramid afford 50 shillings for a matatu. Bare minimums only. We cannot be in a situation where one person can afford to take his child to Montessori school, where he pays 1 million shillings per term, and another person who cannot afford an exercise book for his child.
So as Bunge la Wananchi, these are some of the conversations you have frequently. So what are some of the recommendations or activities that are coming out to achieve what it is that Wananchi want? What are some of the ways that you're talking about? Since now we want to ensure that bare minimum is met, this is how we want to do it. What are some of those recommendations?
Some of the recommendations we have made as Bunge la Wananchi, we have consistently pushed for the implementation, full implementation in letter and spirit of Article 43 of our Constitution. That is the article of the Wananchi in this Constitution we have today, Constitution 2010. That is our article. That is the article of the people at the bottom of the pyramid. We have consistently pushed for the implementation of that article of the Constitution. And until we implement Article 43 of our Constitution, Kenyans will still live in poverty, because we have people living in abject poverty in this country. We have people suffering in this country. We have consistently prepared policy-oriented petitions and submitted them to Parliament or relevant authorities. Petitions that are that push the interests of the common people. We have consistently done that at all times.
Let me challenge you, Kiberenge. I was looking at Article 43, so we're all on the same page. It guarantees economic and social rights for all Kenyans. States that every person has the right to healthcare services, including reproductive healthcare, accessible and adequate housing, and reasonable standards of sanitation, freedom from hunger and access to adequate food of acceptable quality, clean and safe water in adequate quantities, social security, education. If I was a friend of the state, I would tell you, shift SHA, healthcare services, you have SHA. We have launched, we are on the path to universal healthcare. Accessible and adequate housing.
It's there.
Housing levy. Affordable housing projects. Freedom from hunger and access to adequate food of acceptable quality. We've given farmers fertilizer, not fertilizers, farmers.
Farmers fertilizer.
We've given we've done that.
Yeah.
Social security, now that's NSSF, etc. But education.
And Linda Jamii.
Jamii, right. Education. We have a new funding model for our universities. I know, you're just looking, he's looking at me like, we're finished. Clean and safe water in adequate quantities. I don't know if there's a national plan on that one, but I'll leave at 5 out of 6 of those. They can say that they're dealing with through shift SHA, affordable housing, etc. Fertilizer.
Just to comment on the deliveries that you highlighted, which this Kenya Kwanza government has tried so far to achieve, I can say that most of them are ghost projects or ghost policies. For example, SHA. SHA is a good idea, I totally agree, that is supposed to alleviate suffering among Kenyans in regard to access to healthcare. But SHA, as it is right now, as it is presently constituted, it behaves like a betting firm, like an aviator or a betika.
How so?
Yes, because many people put in their money, but few are lucky. You have seen some people saying, "Mimi menisaidia." Last week I was in the Kenyatta National Hospital, and I was seeing in the corridors, people were crying in the corridors. Out of 10, you will find one saying, "Menisaidia," and the rest were crying, "Yangu imekata, yangu imekata." So why should it behave like a theater or a betting firm? So that waweke pesa wengi, but washindi ni wachache. We don't need to have SHA, an insurance cover for healthcare behaving that way. People must access healthcare. SHA was supposed to be piloted. It was hurried. It was supposed to be piloted. Maybe use Nairobi as a pilot, so that you roll it out as a pilot. After that, you identify the gaps, fill the gaps, then roll it countrywide. But why was it hurried? It was hurried because of the business interest in it. You can imagine that the system that is managing SHA was procured using 104 billion Kenya shillings. 104. And we only needed 700 million to fix NHIF, to fill the gaps in NHIF. We needed 700 million. But we had to... You can see the companies that are managing SHA. Companies are associated with the who is who in this country. Very big companies. So SHA was hurriedly rolled out for business interests. Now talk about a new university funding model. You can see Mama Kinyini Kibira, who sells omena, mtoto wake anapatikana kwa bandia.
Rich people.
Rich people.
Band 3.
Band
5.
Oh, 5. Oh.
I mean, there was no reason to remove HELP and replace it with the new university funding model. We just needed to fix HELP. Where there are gaps, we fix them. Because our constitution says every Kenyan shall be treated equally.
Yeah.
Equality. So whether you come from a poor family, whether you come from a rich family, you could only access a loan, which you pay. It doesn't matter your class. But SHA today is putting people into categories of classes, which is against the constitution of Kenya. I mean, university funding model. It is putting people into classes which is against our constitution.
So what you're saying is that we are far from realizing the ideals of Article 43, the economic and social
We are
rights.
very far. We have not even gone a quarter of realizing Article 43 of our constitution.
Okay.
And
so if this is what the Kenyan wants, yeah, what is the Kenyan doing to fix so that they can get this delivered? I want to hear what you say at Bunge la Wananchi. You know, collectively, what people come out to say, when people are coming out to express themselves and they bring out those issues. Angalia Mama Akinyi, Angalia Baba Nani, Angalia so-and-so, you know, who is suffering and not being able to just meet the basics. Eh? So at the end of the day, what solutions are these that they come out and say, okay, so this is the best way we can fix this, is this direction. Let's come back after the break with that conversation. We are hosting a leader of the Bunge la Wananchi. He's the election board chair, and he'll tell us what that means. Election board chair at Bunge la Wananchi, Mr. Robert Kiberenge, is our guest. What does the Wananchi want? That's our conversation today, and that's the question we're asking. We're back shortly on Nation FM, on NTV, and on all the digital media platforms. It's like that, eh?
Just like that.
Like that. We are hosting Robert Kiberenge from Bunge la Wananchi. He's our guest today, and we're asking ourselves, What does the Wananchi want? Can we start having that conversation? What do we want? And then start looking at how then do we get what we want? What are the comments coming in on YouTube?
There's Ian Muli who says, why does Wananchi field rallies on a weekday? Civil education. Why did Wananchi vote for Uhuru? Civil education. Why did Wananchi vote for Ruto? Civil education. Yani kitu tumemiss hapa ni civil education. Haya. Gachagua is fixing their pockets with a rate card. That's according to Aluta Brands Media. Alafu Jimmy Gakeo is correcting me. He's saying, Mariam, Kibaki never held rallies. He was forever at Harambee House, where I don't know if the incumbent has ever been there.
Civil education ama civic? Kama ni zote ni the same. Civic, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. So apparently, yeah, Kibaki was, and I confirmed this with you guys at the break. I think in my head, I'm thinking around Chungwa versus Banana times, there was a lot of rallies. But to be fair, I don't actually remember Kibaki at rallies. I'm sure he had them.
He toured the country.
Nothing to the extent of that we're witnessing.
What do you mean? To what extent? Okay, so if we're comparing Kibaki to Moi would be, spend some time here and then go around the country, visiting the country. Kibaki reduced that significantly. And that's why the Bunge, Wananchi and others were like, where is this president? Surely we're used to seeing our president. We've gone a whole week, we don't see our president. Where is he? And now we came into Uhuru, who balanced, and we have Ruto, who is visible. So, are those rallies or are they not? Kiberenge?
During Kibaki's time? No, Kibaki was very limited in rallies. It was very... he did not have rallies like the ones we have right now. Kibaki was always working from his office. And whenever you saw him out, he was it was very necessary and very important
that he comes out.
And it was not like, do you know how much a president spends to go to Muranga or to Viga to launch a transform? He spends more than the cost of that transform.
True.
That is very true. He spends more than that transform. So it does not make any economical sense for a president to fly all the way to Busia to go and launch a transform. He can tell the county commissioner there to launch that transform. Or
don't even launch it.
Or don't even launch it.
Let it run. Let it work.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it does not make any economical sense. I think it is purely politics. Our current president, we do not hate the president. We don't hate the president. What we want is the delivery of services. We want what I've talked about, Article 43. Kenyans are not interested in politics. Kenyans are not interested. Okay, Ruto became president. Some of us did not vote for him, but eventually he became our president. What we want is the delivery of services from him. Yes. And that is why Kenyans right now, they say poverty is the mother of revolutions in the country. Go and look at French revolutions and all the Philippines revolution and all other revolutions. They were born by poverty.
Yeah.
So even if we continue saying that people must not say Ruto must go, so unless we address the challenges, the underlying challenges that Kenyans are going through, we shall not stop people from talking. We shall not stop people from saying Ruto must go. We need to address the challenges that people are facing. And we have always said as Bunge la Wananchi, in the current economical situation, because we are fixing the nation and we want solutions, in the current economical situation, we even told CS Mbadi at Bunge la Wananchi when he came there, because we summoned him. And we have also summoned Murkomen and we are waiting for him. We told Mbadi that in the current economical situation, he must freeze all mega projects. Freeze all mega projects and for only this financial year, and direct all the resources to manufacturing, agriculture, education, and health. Those sectors. For only this financial period. I don't think we can all of us die if we stop mega projects for one financial year. So that those monies can be used to revive our manufacturing industry, to create the jobs. Do you know how many jobs we can create by reviving our manufacturing industry.
Many.
We shall have the farmer benefiting, shall have employees of companies, and so on. Millions of jobs we shall create. So we told him about that. And that one, but they cannot stop mega projects because those are the conduits for siphoning public resources. They cannot stop mega projects.
So they are stuck between what they want to do for themselves and what should happen for the country.
It is about self-aggrandizement in this country. And that is the old software I was talking about, self-aggrandizement. When somebody is in a ministry, is so much interested, he or she is so much interested in what she will gain or what he will gain than delivery of services to the people. And we don't have people who are creative in this government. For example, I always like John Michuki. He was a very creative minister. Love him or hate him, Michuki rules was never a law in this country. But he was just creative to come up with something which he called Michuki rules. And today, you can see some sanity in our transport system because of Michuki. We have CS in this country who are not creative. They don't have ideas. They don't know what to do. A CS cannot be creative to come up with an idea in order to promote agriculture, in order to promote health, in order to promote education, and so on.
So when you call the CSs, how did Mbadi respond to you when you gave that recommendation? I know we covered it, but what do you remember him saying? And when he spoke to you, did you feel convinced that he would do something? You were like, no.
No, we were
At
not.
least we had a chance to speak to him, but we don't know that he'll do anything about it.
He did not convince us that what he told us, that he is increasing the resources in the value addition chain and so on. But we were not satisfied. We have looked at that finance bill for 2025-2026. We have already looked at it. And we have seen that there are budget cuts in the critical sectors like healthcare. And those budget cuts, for example, you cut the budget for healthcare and add it to Parliament, 1.7 billion Kenya shillings to Parliament. You see? You have seen even right now MPs' salaries have been increased by 366,000 per MP. In an economy where interns, medical interns demand to be given a higher salary and they are told there's no money. But there is money to give each MP 366,000.
Intern is actually not even asking for higher salary. They're saying what was negotiated,
That's what we want.
just pay us that. And the government is saying we cannot afford that. We need to cut it by half. And yet MPs are getting a pay rise. Okay, in government. When you talk all these issues at Bunge la Wananchi and people come out, and I see those clips of Bunge la Wananchi, people animatedly speaking about the problems and the challenges that we face, what do they see as the route to a fix? Is there anywhere where you can clearly see that this is what people are saying, that this is how we are going to fix it?
The only way we can fix this problem is electing, first of all, electing a president who has not been in the system. Somebody who is not tied in the old software of this country, the old system. A fresh mindset that will bring new ideas into our governance. Because we need to change our governance.
At what level of governance? All levels?
At the highest level.
At presidential level?
Yes.
Okay.
If we do it at the highest level, then everything will fall into place. We need a very fresh mindset at the top. Because if we are still...
Fresh is somebody who's never been in politics.
Fresh is somebody who has never been in the system. He could be in politics, but he has never been in that system. This old system.
Okay.
Where, for example, and I don't hate President Ruto, but I'm just saying President Ruto was in Moi's government. His style of governance is Moi's school style of governance. All these people, even Uhuru was in Moi's government. All these people. So I'm saying what we need is a fresh person who has not been in that system, a person who will implement our constitution in letter and spirit, especially the issues that concern the common people at the bottom. That's what we are saying. And we need to strengthen institutions. It doesn't matter who is on the presidency, as long as the institutions are working. If you go to US, they don't care who is the president in the US because they have very strong systems. So if we strengthen our systems, we have a strong judiciary that acts independently. We have a strong, we have a health commission. We have all these institutions, if we strengthen them, it doesn't matter who is on the presidency. And also we need to increase resources to counties. And we need to fight corruption in this country, deliberately fight it. Because right now, corruption is too rampant in this country. People are looting this country left, right, and center. You can see the opulence in this country.
Kiberenge, a quick one. When we say what Wananchi want, we forget that our politicians, our leaders, bado ni Wananchi pia. What do they want from your observation?
The politicians.
Pia ni Wananchi.
You know what? Let me tell you, our politics is a problem because we have that psyche that becoming an MP is the easiest way to get rich, or becoming a president, or becoming a CS. That is how our system is designed, that it is very wrong. That is why I'm saying, I've always insisted that we should not lose our engineers, our doctors to politics. Because politics in this country is paying too high. It's a very lucrative, politics is a lucrative career in this country. Such that every doctor in this country, every lawyer, every engineer wants to become a politician. Because politics is paying too high, too high. I don't know why an MP should earn 1 million. I've never found a reason why an MP should earn 1 million. And I've always said that MPs, and at Bunge la Wananchi we are insisting that MPs must be volunteers. They should be volunteers, earning a monthly stipend.
Only. Salary.
Only. And if you are not interested in being a volunteer, just go and look for a job.
We had that Shika Mike, I think, as a media.
A doctor in this country should earn higher. An engineer should earn higher. A medical intern should earn higher than an MP.
Even a nurse.
Even a nurse. Even
a teacher.
Even Janet here should earn higher than an MP because she's serving this country in a very, better way. So the problem in this country is that we have made politics a business empire, so that the people are if you want to get rich, get into politics, become an MP. We must change that style. Let us make MPs volunteers, earning a monthly stipend or 200,000 or 300,000, so that we can have people who have a passion to serve the people.
They come out here only to serve. Janet, this is what we were talking about earlier, right? And when we were saying earlier that we have gotten to a place where the politician is so engrossed in our lives that they've taken such a center stage in our life that's why we even look at what a politician is going to bring. Akuja rally, atuachie 200, atuachie 300, and asking, how do we get ourselves out of this? How do we get ourselves out of this where we actually look at somebody and say, I want to listen to what they have. I'm not looking at what they're driving, how much they've brought to me. It is just the ideas that they have, that they seem to understand my pain points, and they have a solution to those pain points. And I agree with that solution. Are we likely to get there?
That is the $1 million question, because I think once we're able to unlock that somehow, then we'll have liberated ourselves to the point where we can vote not thinking about the person who will give us handouts, but thinking about on merit. But we're not there. And I think Kiberenge, it would be also, maybe he touched on it at the beginning of this interview, but I also want us to go back to Ian Muli's statement here about civic education, because he said, Wananchi fill rallies in a week, they need civic education. Why do they vote for Uhuru? Civic education. Why do they vote for Ruto? They need civic education. But the question Eric has asked Kiberenge, I think if we're able to unlock that ability of people to attend a rally, not because wanapata kitu, but because I want to hear what this politician has to say, and I want to hold them accountable. But how do we begin to get there? Because I think if we can unlock that collectively, which we're very far from it, we're very divided. So how do we begin to unlock that ability, kusema? Siku hizi tuki-attend rally, we're not going for handouts. We're going to hold this leader accountable. And back to Late's question even before you, can we get there?
Yeah, we can get there. It is like you have said, civic education. People need to be educated that whatever choice you are going to make at an election, you will bear the consequences for 5 years, and it will affect you. So don't take 200 shillings or 100 shillings in order to elect somebody, because that 200, that person who is paying you 200 will want to recover his money. He's not giving you for free. He will use 5 years recovering his money. And you know what? He's recovering your resources, the taxes you pay. That is the only way he's recovering his money. So whenever you receive 50 shillings from a politician, or 200, or even 1,000, rest assured that that money will come from your pocket. You will pay him. You will refund him his money. He's not giving you for free. So that is the kind of civic education we need to do in this country. But again, let me say, there is another generation that is coming up that is not interested in handouts. I've seen the Gen Z generation. They are not interested in handouts. They are interested in resolving the governance issue in this country. I've seen that generation. Maybe Generation X, millennials, our kina Janet, we failed. But there is a generation that's coming up that is determined to change the course of things. The course of things.
Are we sure?
Is that across the country as well?
It is across the country.
Are we sure?
Yes, yes.
You know, over 70%.
I saw in Bungoma yesterday some Gen Z were gathered, and it was a very large gathering, just educating others.
I was telling you, Kiberenge,
yes,
at least 70% of Kenya's population today,
yes,
are in that younger generation, lower millennials into the Gen Zs. Okay, they're the ones who will go into these rallies. The president is going to Mount Kenya for a week. Now, if anybody is going to turn up there and expect something, right, it is this same generation. They're the ones who will want to accept that 200 bob. It's a border groupings, it's a Wamama Soko. They're the same. It's the older Gen Zs into the millennials, into the younger millennials. They're still asking for money.
Yeah.
Or at least expect, even if they're not asking, they're at least expecting handouts.
Something.
Yes.
Yeah, but let me tell you, we are coming to a situation where people will even take your money but not vote for you. We are also coming to that. And I've seen it in some instances where people will take, Kenyans need to know that anybody who has bribed you, that is the first indicator that that's not the right leader. You must never elect that person. Once you have given me 100 shillings, for me, you are not the correct person to be in any leadership. I've taken you 100, but I should not vote for you. You are not the right person.
Sorry. Jimmy Gakio is saying something interesting on YouTube just before you go, Janet.
That's okay.
He's saying, Kenya ukipewa t-shirts, caps, na mama mboga pewe leso, boda pewe reflector, na 60 ni hivo, sindio? But he's also saying, as a fix, we should reduce counties to 10 or 8, something he thinks is manageable. Remove county CECs, because according to him, that's duplication of tasks. Reduce the number of constituencies and abolish women rep positions. Those are his thoughts. I know, very radical.
Si akuje shika mic bwana.
Akuje. Jimmy,
Jimmy,
itisha
please.
mic, kuja, you shika mic and
Yeah, and some of the he's just amplifying some of the proposals we have been making as Bunge la Wananchi, that we need counties to be reduced. We need the number of MPs to be reduced, the number of MCS. We need to reduce our wage bill. We have a very huge wage bill because of positions that are very unnecessary.
Very bloated. We're about
important.
to wind up, but we were to ask you, election board chair, what does that mean? When you say you're an election board chair,
You know,
Bunge la
Bunge la Wananchi is a countrywide movement. We are in over 36 counties of this country, and we normally have elections. We are very structured. We normally have elections. So we have an election board that oversees the election of the movement. And we hold elections after every 2 years. So currently I'm the chairman of the board. Yani, mimi sio Chapukati, mimi sio Chapukati. I'm the elections board chairman of Bunge la Wananchi.
When is the next election?
The next election is August this year.
Okay.
Yes.
Kwa sasa ndio oversee.
I'm the one who oversees the election.
That's your IEBC chairperson.
No.
Okay.
And we are everywhere. We are everywhere in this country. In Nairobi, we are in all the 17 sub-counties. Kangemi utatupata hapo bottom. 56 mwisho Kawangware. Kibira Darajani. Imara Daima. We are everywhere, Jacaranda. So we are a large movement. A very large movement.
With many people. One of them is John Mukwaya, who says, Ndugu Kiberenge, you're doing well as an old member of Bunge. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, John.
Mukwaya is an old member of it.
That is my mentor.
Yeah.
My mentor is a very good youth person.
Very good.
Yes.
Smallest ever says, if you ask me, the least one in leadership should be paid is even 2 million shillings in a month. But then do what we vote for you to do. To be fair, we should not compare leadership with other careers. Not even the doctor who saves lives should be put on the same page with leaders.
Well, interesting.
So leadership is actually a very big, it's a huge responsibility. But huge responsibility.
But in Kenya, we abuse it.
That's the problem.
We abuse leadership positions.
Yeah.
We misuse them.
We're coming to the top of the hour, and we want to thank you very much, Kiberenge, for joining us today. We will come again to the Bunge, one of the other Bunges, and listen to what the Wananchi is saying. Tulete mic kwa ground, ndio tusikizane, tusikie, what are we doing? How can we together fix the nation?
Welcome.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
Robert Kiberenge is the Mudosi of the Elections Board of the Bunge la Wananchi. He is the Elections Board Chair, and he has been here today just so we can ask ourselves, what does the Wananchi want? It's not one conversation that will fix, it's one conversation at a time that will take us towards fixing the nation. In the next hour, we have a conversation about the President's tour to Mount Kenya, and we'll be joined by the MP, the woman rep for Laikipia County. Keep it here.